down to here. Zoom's been sent, right? Okay, cool. So, all right. So, first thing we're gonna notice today is that the monthly time frame looks like we are, coming down still. We haven't flipped bullish yet on the monthly. Again, I understand that some of you guys are tired of me repeating myself every day when it comes to the monthly time frame, but this is what we gotta do every morning. No matter how annoying it is, you gotta go through it. You gotta go through the process of it because it's key. It's key when it comes down to your analysis to start from the higher time frame to drop down to all the way to the lower time frame, so I can understand what each time frame is doing, right? And it's only like a few time frames that we're using really, but we're looking at the monthly, right? We're looking at the weekly, we're looking at the daily, we're looking at the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30, 15, 5. We're looking at 8 time frames. It's not that complicated, right? Pretty straightforward. All you gotta do really look at each time frame, break down what you think's gonna happen, and then once you break down as you break down to the smaller time frames, things will start clicking. Like, okay, this is that. Okay, well, monthly bottom wick could be a daily no bottom wick today. Could this be the flip up for the monthly top wick? You know what I mean? It starts to click, and then the 5, 15 starts to line up with 30 and daily and 4 hour and all that good stuff. So it's key, especially on days when you have no idea what's going on. Like today, I have no idea what's going on today. I'm not no genius. I come to the charts the same way you guys come to the charts. I see the same thing you guys see. So this is how I'll go about my day, right? So literally, you guys have seen me do my analysis every morning on streams, and I've been doing it the same way since since the streams first started in 2020. Every day I come to the charts, I break down the monthly down to the 5, 15. It's a very rare case scenario where I would skip this part of the day. But yeah, chat. So the monthly time frame looks like we are currently, is the music too loud? Is it not? It's good. Okay, cool. So the monthly time frame looks like we are coming down here. We're creating this bottom wick here, as you can see, right? So that bottom wick, what does it indicate? Well, first thing before looking at that candle is we obviously have to indicate where your resistance is. So let's go ahead and take this tool out, and what I'm gonna notice is that, look, there is a resistance right around here, right? So there's a resistance there. So there's also support down here as well, right? So what is this now? What's this called, chat? This is what? A range form. So if this is your range form, there's a high chance that you could fill the range, right? But before filling the range, you need some confirmations, right? You need some confirmations, and you need some closures back below the level. So obviously, look at the monthly. You have 23 days left. So that's a very long time. We're only a week into the candle. This candle has no top wick yet, right? So you'd assume that even if you were to drop down towards the bottom of the range, you need a top wick. You need to see the top wick tap into the flip, right? Because the flip is what makes the top wick. So minimum the flip. And if you flip, then potentially the wick fill for the bullish candle, which is 2000. So at any given point for the monthly, this could happen. We can flip up to 2000, create a top wick. And then after you create a top wick, it's up to price on what it wants to do. Again, you currently have 23 days left. By the time you flip, you might have 5 days left. You might have 15 days left. You might have 20 days left. You might even flip today for all I know, right? But once you flip, that indicates that, okay, price is creating a top wick, and now it has a decision to make. It has whatever days left, and it has a decision to make if it wants to close above the range, or if it wants to flip back bearish to close back below the range, right? The difference in that candle after is that it will have the top wick. So if it does flip bearish, this is how it's going to look, right? But if it does end up closing bullish above the range, then obviously we'll be looking something like this, right? And that will indicate next month we'll continue to drive up, right? But if you close bearish, then that will obviously indicate that we are coming back down in the monthly time frame, especially if we can close below this minor support. Because look left, you're going to come all the way down towards here next, in the 1800 yen, towards this level of support. So understand that's what the monthly is at. That's where the monthly is at today. Okay, so obviously it's irrelevant to our current price action data. Like it won't really affect our analysis today when it comes down to daily, when it comes down to the 5, 15 and all that good stuff. But it's just good to keep in the back of your mind, because at some point today it might even come into play. We might mention it, in a way where it affects the small time frame analysis. We'll see. You have the weekly time frame here. So hold on, pause. Is there news today? Okay, cool. There's no news today, but there's like an FOMC member, you know, Harker speaks at like 8:15, but nothing too major. So okay, cool. Nothing. Yeah, you have no news today. I don't think you have news till Wednesday. Okay, so we're chilling. All right. So that's another thing as well. Make sure you check Forex Factory every day, because that does affect your analysis as well with how numbers come on, all that good stuff, right? Come down to the weekly here. The weekly on gold shows you that you currently are bearish, right? So it looks like you're coming down here, and you're coming down to fill the weekly wick, right? So as you can see, there's your support down here, there's your resistance up here. This is the range that you are currently in right now on gold here. So any given point in this range here, you could just obviously come down to fill the entire range. Obviously this is your next support, right? So that's where you're looking to tap into next. But there also is a pretty minor level here as well at 1929, 800, 1928, which shows that you do have a minor level here of support, right? So any given point that could reject. Price has rejected in the past, but I would say the wick fill should be minimum for the weekly. Again, it's a weekly, right? So it could tap even tomorrow for all I know, but with the volume today, it may end up tapping it today. 1925, 488. I think that's the last week's low during NFP Friday. So we're coming down to retest the lows basically from Friday. The daily time frame shows you that you are bearish today. So I don't know if this is honestly enough liquidity for us to continue driving down to fill like 1909. Like, remember how I told you guys, chat, I'll at some point bring up the monthly again. This is when I'll bring it up, because the monthly shows that you're creating a bottom wick, right? So obviously at any given point, this monthly candle could flip bullish, and you are currently tapping into like this support bump basically on the monthly gold, right? The daily closed bullish as support the previous days, right? It created a support right around here, and any given point, this candle could literally flip bullish and continue to pop up like this any given point, because this candle closed bullish as support, and then the next candle closed bearish respecting that same support, which indicates that there is a support formed there and you haven't closed below yet, right? Obviously the bearish candle closed bearish last night, so it can continue to push down, fill the wick, but just remember, at any given point it could just flip bullish and end up doing something like this today, because it's still a bullish candle. And I don't know if you have enough liquidity yet to continue down. Like if this were to be the case today, right, and you were to look like this yesterday, where you had a bearish candle, you had a top wick like this, that would look a lot more ideal, you know. Then I'll say, okay, cool, well, yeah, you can probably come down now and fill the rest of the range. But you can come down and fill this range today. 1925 could get tapped today, but I don't know if you're gonna come down and fill this range, 1905, 1910, which is your next support, or 1910, these areas here, right? I don't know if that's enough volume for us to drive down towards there, but at least towards 1925 minimum, I'll say today should be your ideal target. But yeah, that daily could flip any given point. I understand that the 4-hour candle, obviously you are in the 4-hour range here from here to basically here. You haven't broken out yet. I'm assuming you haven't broken out because of news here. You are currently breaking the 4-hour lows right now. Again, you haven't closed yet though, right? The previous candle also closed bullish. I would not be surprised if this candle ends up closing doji or bullish back into the ranges respecting 1931 here. So I mean, let's see what happens in this 4-hour candle, but I'm assuming that we've been ranging due to the fact that you do have news this week. Tomorrow you have unemployment claims, CPI. So I'm assuming that's what's going to affect price tomorrow. And then Friday you have core PPI. All right. But yeah, that's the 4-hour time frame. Shows that we're in the range. Any given point, this thing could flip due to it being in respecting support still and not closing below. The 1-hour closure is in about 17 minutes here, and it looks like the 1-hour candle well, it looks like the 1-hour candle closed bearish here. So there is a support down here, there is a resistance up here. Again, this looks very similar to the 4-hour range, honestly, by the way things are looking right now. All right, because this is your resistance up there, and then this is your support down here. So this is basically the range you're in, right? You can see there's a lot of play in these areas here going across on price. There's a lot of plays here, a lot of play here, a lot of play lot of play, right? Obviously there's a pretty strong level here at these areas here. So this is the range that you want to be very cautious in when you're taking positions, right? You can still trade it. It's a range of 80 pips, right? So it's definitely tradable, but I'll be very cautious when taking positions in this range here. This likely will be a fake out though. So what am I looking for today, right? So if I'm expecting that 4-hour candle to flip bullish here and for us to reject off the support, right? Then I could probably have my buys. Let's see. I don't want to take buys yet, obviously. But looking at price here, if I can mark up my support here. Because think about it, right? If price were to continue to pop down here, right? Look at all the times that price popped down to fill the bottom of the range, right? You're looking at this. Like you're looking at like for every time price was able to break through 1929, right? You're looking at these ranges to the left here. Like this, even like this down here. Like every time you're able to just drop down, right? You're able to create some type of top wick first before coming down. We're looking at like this top wick areas, top wick, right? Top wick before coming down. So if you did have a top wick previously, which is this candle, but it came down, filled the range. But I believe you're gonna need another retest of like at least 37 here before coming down here. So I'm trying to see if we can get buys to 37 really, towards 37, or what is that? Because yeah, this is not bad. If we can get buys towards 1937, 1935 here. Let's see. So it could be above 31, to be honest, chat. The potential. I don't know how this 1 hour is gonna close, but I'm assuming it's gonna close bullish. You have a 5 close that closed below the range here. If we can close back above 30.411, then I could just take buys going up towards 1937, 1933. Because you're assuming that before coming down here, you gotta grab liquidity, right? So if we can get buys here, even if price were to continue coming down here, it's gotta at least grab liquidity in these areas. If it doesn't grab above 37, right? Like you'll see like something like this form if it were to drop down, right? So like either way, we'll be able to catch whatever this range is. We'll be able to catch a bit of this to here and fill this range before the sells later on anyways. This kind of has no top wick. I'm assuming that you'll create a top wick before coming down here. So I mean, we can get our first positions probably once you close back about 30.411, and then you can have your second positions. If it doesn't reject this area, you can have your second positions like let's see, probably have your second pineapple positions once you probably break these lows down here, right? That's got 20 pip range. So like if this one doesn't reject, then at least you have this one. Then you have, again, you're still assuming that if you were to drop down towards 19, what's the next support again? Let me go back to the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame, yes, no, so the 1 hour. Yeah, if you were to come down towards 1924, right, I'll at least need to see 37, 38 here. So yeah, so if you weren't to reject 30, your next level of rejection is at 28, and at 28 you can grab liquidity at 30 anyways, so you can take a second pineapple there and be out of the first position at break even and be in close to one in profit later on anyways. So you have those two options. I mean, scenario one is you just close above 34.11 and you take buys above and you should be good. Scenario two though is going to be the second position at 28 for pineapples. So this is position number one, right? You're assuming this is going to happen, but if it doesn't continue to drive, then you have this position down here, right? Because this is your next support basically. So this is your next range, here to here. At any given point, this can just happen. right back into the ranges, and then you just continue up. Who knows? Maybe you might even end up getting positions at 28 because it might not even close above 30 or 411. So you could end up getting position at 28 instead, just having that one position in 28. Probably give you better stops, to be honest. We'll be probably around 28, yeah, like 28, 231 probably. You have the 1 hour closure here in about 11 minutes here. So you spent the first half of the 1 hour candle creating a top wick. It's still around like the open area, unless it drives down here in the next like couple minutes here. I'm pretty sure this candle's gonna close doji bullish or something. And even if it does close weak bullish like that, unless it closes like strong bearish, something like this with a bottom wick, I highly doubt it'll continue to drive down the next 1 hour candle. I believe you need liquidity for driving down. So if it does end up closing bearish, that would be fine as well. Because it looks something like this. That's not enough volume. That's not enough liquidity. Unless you get a steep bottom wick as well, and you close something like that with a gladiator candle like that, that would indicate volume. But if it closes like this, then no. So give it like maybe you might get a trade at 8 a.m. here. We'll see. With the 8 a.m. close. Cool chat. That's what I'm waiting for here. So let's see what to do. Let's see if we get no wick entry today. Yes, this is pretty perfect, not gonna lie to you. It was like precision. Like it was just patience on top of skill. Like we put all out there yesterday. Hold on, let me get my coffee, chat.